Greetings, fiddlers. I just thought it might be time to talk a little bit about bow rhythms and just the path of grooves and accent patterns within the single note. This is an amazing thing. We really, as fiddlers, I think we spend a lot more time doing this kind of motion and worrying about whether it's danceable or not than other styles. It's just something we do because the fiddle is the drums, the bass, and the melody, and everything else in this kind of music. So, and there's a particular beauty in how we do. It's like watching a great drummer with the sticks, right? They fly around, they go up and down, they go, they go here and there. It's very beautiful. It's like watching flocks of birds. And this is also can be beautiful to watch it weaving. There's that weaving thing that happens. Right, that kind of thing. Where there's all this stuff going on, and that is beautiful. And being able to, kind of get into that feeling of enjoying the beauty as your autonomic nervous system generates a groove, just as your heartbeat is beating at a regular rate, your lungs are moving in and out, your diaphragm's going up and down at a fairly regular rate, and what's going on up here, the amount of the vibratory frequencies are very much in rhythm. So there you have it. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about this. I did a lesson recently that people seem to be really like. So I'm a little bit more into this. I was just talking to one of the students about this, just thinking about how we, think about our accent patterns, right? So we go. As one example, there's so many of them. We do that with a metronome. You'll see all these patterns. I'll play a couple of them for you in a minute. But thinking of those patterns as longer patterns, like they're mini songs in themselves, right? Even though we're not playing different notes at this point, we could be, but we're not now, because we're trying to focus over here for a change. Okay, how about, that's really just bump, 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 but what if it was bump, 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 bump. Think of that, I like as a rotating circle in which the dot, the circle just reaches the top of our clock. Let's say a fast clock. So like bump, 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 bump. Bump, 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 boink, right? So that's, I kind of had to slow down. I got excited coming up, and then, so that's the exercise, right? So then transferring this to just a pure conception of the pattern in over 4 cycles. Here we go. Something like that, where you're thinking of these longer cycles, and that really we get more aware, you know, and less wandery within the grid, which is great. You know, we're making modifications to a mathematical grid, but we're making them at a much finer level than we're, you know, when it sounds like a mistake, right? Like speeding up and slowing down with whatever else is going on. And it could be a metronome, but it could be more, you know, real musicians who are going to speed up and slow down, but we're doing it together, right? So that's the great thing about the metronome. It's just so, it's kind of like, it's so dumb, you know, it'll just keep doing that, you know. So you kind of have to go to it, but it's a great practice, you know. And then when you get in a room full of real musicians who play with you and listen to you, then all of a sudden it's like heaven, right? So let's do this, right? Yeah, what's my pattern? Maybe I'll do a more standard 3-3-2 pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I can. Now, how would I do that? Right, there it is. Try to start with the down bow. So how would we break that down? Because it sounds pretty good. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. We could start learning by just looking at the high parts. Bump, 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 bump. If I tried to go all down bows, well, it's pretty accurate, but there's no groove, right? So that's why I'm going alternate. I am playing it as if I was playing all the in-between notes as well. So there it is. I'm going to put the accent pattern. All of a sudden it starts sounding more like music. But how about I go down here, smooth it out. Wow. Just letting the metronome do the work. You know, we can't lead this thing. It's gotta, we have to just go with it. But we know it's not gonna slow down or drag or do anything stupid. Well, it's all stupid, but not disruptive, right? So what we're doing here is just getting comfortable within that framework. You know, if we don't quite get it one time, it's just keep going. You know, the point is to stay relaxed, do most of the work, you know, if you can, in your wrist and fingers, really. And that's what's great about a good bow hold, is that it enables you to be very loose and not drop the bow. That's why I rant about this so much. But yeah, even if you do a thumb under grip, that also is very nice, because it's really hard to drop the bow if your thumb is completely under. I'd prefer this, but I will do a thumb under. It's just fine if you're having trouble, you know, just holding on to the bow. Put your thumb under it, get your fingers around it. None of this stuff. Don't do this. It's terrible. Do this, right? Just so you can kind of be loose with the bow, or the actual bow stroke, the Galamian bow hold. Which, man, was I talking through that entire metronome? I cannot believe it. Man, that's what my life has come to. You know, it's all got to have a beat. What is that?